Dr. Liz Blanding. Welcome to the Glow Podcast. It's guiding in love and providing opportunity in the world. We are here to, and this is huge, but we are here to eradicate domestic violence. I know that is a huge statement, but with every ounce of me, every fiber of me, I believe that it can be accomplished because it does take us coming together and first bringing awareness and then bringing resolution. There are many women that go home every day to a situation that is not a haven. I believe that home should be your haven and should not be hell when you go home. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I bring to you transparency into my story so that it can help other people. Again, I'm going to be transparent, and it may not always be perfect because this situation and this issue of domestic violence isn't perfect. There are so many people that know somebody that either have gone through a situation or that are in a current situation. And a lot of times we don't talk about it. We are taught to keep our personal issues and things at home and not to air it. Don't air your dirty laundry. We start teaching our children that. But if nobody's talking about it, and I'll say myself, I've gone to work many times with scarves around my neck, with additional makeup on, trying to hide those scars. But those scars are deeply embedded in our fiber, deeply embedded in us. And if we don't start having a conversation and bringing awareness to the situation, then there is no resolve, and we keep standing over caskets with moms and babies. Because I had a friend of mine or an associate of mine who gave she gave an event, and at the same time her daughter was being murdered by an estranged boyfriend. And I went to the services, and no one prepared me to look down into that casket and see a baby and a mom. These are our senseless tragedies, and something that if we come together, we can bring change. We can bring resolution. We can bring real resolutions and real solutions. I want to talk about why WoDiva. And WoDiva stands for Women of Domestic Violence. That means we all come together, women, men, whomever. We come together and we bring these teams of people together and we bring resources. So this podcast is going to be about not only my story, but the story of other women that have gone through the situation. Either they're in it, that are going through it, or that are on the other side of it. And I think it's actually a privilege to come and bring this information, because once you're a survivor, you know. And you know it. So now, once you've used different resources to get yourself and pull yourself out of that situation, now I think it's our duty now to come back and say, here, I am my brother's keeper. So let me lend a hand. So in this podcast, we're going to bring different people or a team of people to help you in every issue. Your mind, because it happens there. Your mind, your body, and your spirit. We're going to even talk about. We'll have herb talk, because herb talk helps you to heal in the body, in your cells. Trauma is not just something that happens and then we're over it. For me, trauma started in the womb. It started because my mother was I'm going to say survivor of domestic violence. I'm going to say it lightly, because that domestic violence that happened when I was in womb, all the way up until I was 3 years old. So not only was I witnessing domestic violence and a part of it, but fear also was a part of that journey. At 3 years old, I stood with my baby sister, 1.5 years old, and we watched my mother's estranged husband stab her. So here we are, 10 tiny fingers clutching one another. Just there. We're in a puddle of blood. Now, going from there to here, there have been some decisions and things that I've made in my life that I know now was a direct result of unresolved trauma. I've been through more than 3 circumstances where I was in domestic violence. And I think that only happens because you don't get to the root cause of it, and we don't heal it, and we don't even acknowledge that the trauma is there. So we go through life. I went through life in denial. And so when you're in denial and you make decisions about your life or life-altering decisions, you make those decisions and you still have not dealt with that trauma. So I want to read you something, and it says, "Can you see the butterfly?" Butterflies are deep, powerful representations of life. Many cultures associate the butterfly with our souls. Around the world, people view the butterfly as representing endurance, change, and hope. In the Christian religion, they see butterflies as a symbol of resurrection. Resurrection meaning a rebirthing. It means, once you've endured or you are enduring, and then you go through that change, because we see a caterpillar goes from that, caterpillar stage is not so pleasant to a beautiful butterfly. And I just offer that to each and every one that's under the sound of my voice. You can become a butterfly no matter what the situation is. And in our podcast, we're going to bring you resources to be able to do that. I just offer that my pain was not in vain. I am a survivor, and you can be a survivor as well. So I'd also like to thank some of our supporters, because as I talked about it just a little bit ago, it takes a village. One of our charges in our first campaign is for 2,000 people to give $50 towards eradicating domestic violence. And that will bring us $1 million. With that $1 million, we will provide those resources that we're talking about. We're talking about tangible resources. We're talking about bringing counselors to the table that can help us to heal. We are talking about we're going to talk about a company called Fortress. And Fortress is a hand up. How many of us know that giving somebody a hand up helps you to now continue? But you have to provide education, and you have to provide healing, and you have to provide a way out. Sometimes it's just, if you can just think, just stop and sit somewhere to be able to think. Because when life and things are going on and about and around, sometimes you can't even think, okay? And I need to go back because it's 20,000. I said 2,000. No way, no how. But it is 20,000 people times $50 will give us $1 million. And I say that again, $50. Okay? And $50 will help us to start on that road of eradicating domestic violence. Okay? So I'd also like to thank our supporters, as I started before. If you are in need of an office space, or if you're in need of an event room, or if you want to bring on your own podcast and handle your own challenge, you can contact the Co-op Exchange, and they are located at 25900 Greenfield Road, Suite 326. And you can find them at www.coopbizplus.com. And we thank them so much for their support. Also, we'd like to thank Dust Lumber Company, and they're located at 2450 West 11 Mile Road in Berkeley, Michigan, 48072 for their support. And lastly, we'd also like to thank L. George's Coney Island, who is also located on Greenfield Road. They also are supporters, and we are looking for additional supporters for our up-and-coming podcast. We thank you, and we look forward to bringing you more and more information and bringing about a real change. I am Dr. Liz Blanding, your host of the Glow Podcast, guiding in love and providing opportunity in the world. Thank you for watching. Hi, we are back here with Rodney Hobbs, who is a graduate of Ashland Theologian Seminary, and who has a master's degree in pastoral counseling. We welcome you to the Glow Podcast.
Glad to be here, Liz. I'm really glad to be here to talk about it and get into domestic violence, not only to women, but to men. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping that what we talk about will not only just bring awareness, but it'll empower men and women to know how to deal with their behavior in situations so that they don't have the mindset that I can hit you and feel good about it.
And absolutely, and that really ties together with what our purpose is. Our purpose is here to encourage, inspire, to uplift, and to also give a hand up.
Yeah.
So bringing those tangible resources, and like you said, them having the wherewithal to know that this behavior is not okay.
Correct, correct. But that's a big barrier that we got to overcome. Because in this country, even using the term domestic violence, if you look up the word domestic, you don't hardly see any type of connection in there to women or to people. The only reference you have in there is to family relations. And so that's why the perspective I look at is just go straight to it. Violence to women, violence to men, violence to children. And when we look at it from that perspective, we can go all the way back and see how the violence that perpetuates in this country, in our society, leads up to why men do what they do and why even women do what they do when it comes to quote-unquote domestic violence. So what I'm hoping that our discussions will lead into is, again, it will bring not only an awareness, but an empowerment so that we can begin to reduce all of the violence that is happening in our country and specifically in our city of Detroit. And so let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
Okay. And again, you say to empower, and that's one of our big goals is to, and I'll go back to the other thing, our mission, and I know it's a huge mission and it's going to take a lot of resources in order to do this, but the vision that I've been given is to actually one day be able to eradicate domestic violence. And meaning that we're not putting a Band-Aid on the situation, but we are delving down into the root causes and figuring out tangible solutions. And I speak to that, from experience, because as I've shared in our entrance as we began, I am a survivor, and that was one of my passions, is because a lot of women, a lot of even men, don't get out of the situation, and I feel it fortunate that I was able to come out of the situation, but on this side of it, be able to look back and say, these are some of the things that I had to overcome. These are some of the things that I had to go through. These are some of the resources that were not there, but now here are some resources that we can bring. And one of the valuable reasons that I wanted you to be here is so that we could start talking about the mental part of it, the psychological part of it. And we have a lot of information to cover when we talk about the psychological part of it, because that now helps us to get to the resolutions.
And again, that goes back to the awareness, because a lot of men and women are not aware of the impact that violence can bring and how that can become embedded in their consciousness, in their mindset, and makes it okay, make it normal. It's okay for me to just hit you one time. I'm all right with that. You see, and that's the mindset, and that mindset has been started years, hundreds of years ago. It's embedded in our culture. And so when we look at it from the aspect of mental health, the anger, the impulse, the depression, the self-esteem, all of those things are affected. And we can wrap it under the umbrella of what is called trauma, but still, men are affected by it, women are affected by it, children are affected by it. And here's something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Even once men or women get out of the situation, they carry that trauma with them, depending on the level or the severity of the violence that they had to endure or experience. Some people was involved in domestic violence, let's say, for a month, 2 months, maybe a half a year, and they got out. But there are some that stayed in there, and there are reasons why they do that. And those are some of the things we want to talk about and explore as well, because those are mental, self-imposed prisons or barriers that they place upon themselves, and it's rooted in fear.
Well, when you say that it's rooted in fear, and one of the things that, I'm willing to do is be very transparent, because I think when people understand and they understand where you come from, a lot of times people look at where you are now and they look at your, what you present, but they have no clue of what your story is or have no clue of where you've come from. And just recently, I understood not all the dynamics, so we're going to unfold and unwrap some things that are going on with me, because I know that, some other people out there will be able to identify with that. I just learned recently, I thought that domestic violence in my situation came from when I was 3 years old, and we'll go into that, the whole story of it, but 3 years old, I stood holding my year and a half baby sister's hand while my mother's estranged husband stabbed her. And I thought, as I grew and got, and was learning more about domestic violence, I thought, wait, that's where I was, exposed to domestic violence. But just recently, I realized that it wasn't from that point. It was actually from the womb, because my mother was in domestic violence while she was carrying me. That, and we'll learn as we go forth how domestic violence affects at a cellular level. It affects you. It affects every part of you. So when you carry it out and you start, thinking about the different decisions that you've made throughout your life and the situations you've gone through, and in my case, domestic violence has been a part of my life, period. Not just one domestic violence situation, not just two domestic violence situations, but then going into a third, whether it be physical, emotionally, psychological. So when we talk about these issues, I want to bring up, because nobody gave or offered help to that 3-year-old girl.
Yes.
So that 3-year-old girl went through adolescence, went through, puberty, and then into adulthood, carrying those fears, carrying that domestic violence that you said deposited into her way back then.
Yes.
So we want to talk about that. We want to bring resolution to that. We want everybody to start, that may be in a domestic violence situation. We definitely want to offer some resources and some tools to help us to identify it, coming into that awareness, and then moving forward with some resolutions and some real, tangible resources to give a hand up.
And Liz, what you just said was very, very powerful, because at that particular time, you were not even aware you were carrying those things. And that applies not only to women, but to men. Why do men have it in their mind that they can hit you? Where did that come from? Where's the motivation behind that? See, all of that ties into mental health as well. And so the impulse, the culture, the experience of learning from their environment, watching parents, watching brothers and sisters, all of those lead into, violence is okay. If I hit you, I can get my way. Power, control. See, our country, our culture is bred on that, and it's ingrained, and a lot of people are not aware of that. And so that would be a very powerful subject and topic to get into bit by bit, because again, people out there that's listening to us don't have a clue of why they do what they do.
And that is so key, and that is so important. It's so important and so key that, we bring those issues to the forefront and that we dissect them one issue at a time. So we're going to be coming here every Friday, and we're going to be bringing you additional information and resources. And I thank you so much for being here today and for getting the conversation started.
And I add just one thing before we go.
Oh, absolutely.
The other aspect we're going to focus on, because from your point of view, you actually went through it. From my perspective, I have given out treatment. I worked with men and women involved in this. So I bring a perspective of how to treat it, how to help people move out of that. And we can bring into solutions of people that's already there. What type of mentality do they need to overcome these self-imposed barriers? See, all of that is under the umbrella of mental health. And I definitely look forward to talking with you about that.
Oh, I definitely look forward to it. I thank you so much for being here again.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so
going to
much.
I'm excited about, learning those different things that, well, why did I react this way? Or why did I act this way? Or, so I'm excited. I'm truly excited for us to be here and do what we do. So I thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I am, again, Dr. Liz Blanding. I come to you because our podcast is all about healing mind, body, and spirit, and about bringing you tangible resources to help you in that process. And I know we've given out a lot of information today, but I want you to start right now to plan. And just what is your goal? What is it that you want to accomplish? And in order to accomplish that goal and to accomplish it from a whole perspective, meaning that you're addressing things not only in your mind, but also in your body, in your spirit, so that when you do start your new path or start your new life, as Minister Vicki Wright is going to talk to us about a new you, in creating a new you, we have to talk about all of those things. So I'm going to talk to you about herbs from A to Z in our weekly segments. I'm going to talk to you about alfalfa today. Alfalfa is an incredible, amazing herb. I take it myself. I am very, very transparent in our podcast because I utilize myself and tested everything on me before I even bring it to you, so that I know that it works, it's tried, tested, and true. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about alfalfa. Alfalfa is incredible. It is when you see, and I want to go back to this because it's kind of funny. We think that our protein comes from animals. So you hear people say, you got to eat your meat, you got to eat your meat. Well, actually, when you eat meat, you're eating secondhand protein. Think about that. Because what do you see cows and what do you see animals eating? They're eating the grass. They're eating the greenery. And we're thinking that that's where they get their protein from. But we think that we're getting protein by eating meat. And we actually don't get protein by eating meat because the animal has already used all the protein. So if we get any, it's secondhand. So why not go straight to the source and get all of the important nutrients from the actual plant itself? Alfalfa is wonderful. I take it myself. So an up-and-coming podcast, I'm going to talk about an accident that I was in that, it really could have taken me out. I had just so many injuries from the accident. And honestly, until I really started understanding the toxicity that's in our prescription medications, did I turn to natural. So looking at alfalfa, it is a wonderful herb to help you not only with like your joint pain or arthritis. One of the injuries that I sustained in the accident was crushed. My left leg was crushed. So in order for me to rehab that, you have to be able to get through the pain. And in order to get through the pain, you have to be able to not have so much pain, because when you say, ouch, you have a pain, you're not going to exercise it or you're not going to move it. Well, what alfalfa did for me was help me loosen up that joint and help me to be able to now go and work out. Now, for alfalfa, because it's food and you have to think about all herbs as being food. Okay, so when you think of it as food, it's growing from the earth. Okay, so when it grows from the earth and we take it into our bodies, we're eating live, so it's a wonderful source of helping you with, like I said, your arthritic pain, joint pain. And I'm going to read a little bit about what the properties and uses for alfalfa is. Alfalfa is a food alternative and is good for the whole body. It's a body nutrient, tonic, joint, stomach, and arthritic discomforts. These are the things that you can use it for. It stops excessive sweating. And the one thing, I'm going to be real transparent about deodorizing, okay? I have used deodorant since I was probably about 10 years old or something when we started using deodorant. Since I've been taking alfalfa daily and consistently, if I miss a day, I don't have an issue. And I go to the gym, so I don't have an issue, because it actually deodorizes. So that's a wonderful, wonderful attribute. It's a pituitary gland nutrient. So alfalfa is known as the father of all foods. So when you think about that, when you take alfalfa, you can take it in large quantities and it does not have any adverse effect to you at all. And so I started out, because my pain was intense, I was taking 10 3 times a day. So I was taking 30 alfalfa capsules 3 times a day. And I'm going to tell you, when you start to take your herbs and you put that into your regimen, it does not, it's not overnight, because what caused you to be in pain didn't happen overnight unless it was like an accident, but it's usually something that's degenerative, that's happening over time. And so I just encourage you, as you are on your path of healing, that you begin with an alfalfa. Alfalfa is great. Like I said, I started off taking 3 times a day, which was 30, and everybody said, wow, that's a lot of capsules to swallow. No, they were absolutely incredible once you get used to it, and you can pop them open, put them in your oatmeal, or put them in a smoothie or something. As long as you get it in your body and get it in your system, it really starts to help and it starts to work. So I hope that helpful tip about alfalfa, I hope it helps you, and you can put that in your arsenal. And we're going to continue to bring you wonderful, healthy tips. And I'm also going to list where you can get the pharmaceutical grade alfalfa from. I thank you for watching. Hi, now we are back, and we have a wonderful guest for you. His name is Cecil Elder. He is a master marketer, a philanthropist, social entrepreneur. He is Chief Executive Officer for Cecil Sense, and now he is co-host of our podcast, Glow, Guiding in Love, Providing Opportunity in the World. Welcome, Mr. Cecil Elder.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today, Liz.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you here.
Yes.
We are providing resources for survivors, not just resources for the survivors, but mainly with our focus on survivors of domestic violence. We want to offer an tangible resource to help you get your finances in order. So on this segment, we're going to talk about a wonderful platform called Fortress. And Fortress Network is a social media network that actually pays its members, something that's not heard of. And so Cecil and I are partners in this venture, and there are over 1,500 members in this membership club.
Yes.
There are over 1,500 members and growing daily. So the reason that we bring this as a tangible resources for those that have gone through domestic violence or that are going through domestic violence is because, again, and I have to go back to my story, and I talk about how I call it an escape because that's what it was. I couldn't go back to work, and I really didn't have too much that I could lean on. I didn't have a savings, but I knew once I heard the story that John Walsh had brought to us about domestic violence, and if one of the 10 things that he had named, if one of those things was in your circumstance that you were in domestic violence, well, 8 of the things that he named was my situation, and that just gave me a wake-up call that I couldn't wait later, that I needed to leave now. So with our podcast, we're bringing resources so that you can start to develop a plan and a plan of action and slowly work that plan. And part of that, like I said, through my experience, is that you have some finances, you have some money tucked away and some money that's continuously growing for you. And therefore, when you leave, you're not running out with $5.35 in your pocket and not knowing which way you were going to turn, which was my situation. So in bringing this resource to you, I am a part of the membership, and I love it because it's opened up so many doors and so many avenues for me. And there's nothing like residual income. I mean, no matter what you do, whether you're, doctor, lawyer, no matter what occupation you have to get up in the morning and you have to do that in order to produce income, unless you're wise and you start to build a residual source of income. I'm not saying that you can't do the things that you love to do, but you should always have you a net to catch yourself. Okay, so this is all about empowering and inspiring and bringing those tangible resources to you. So I bring Mr. Cecil Elder here today because, again, like I said in his intro, he's a master marketer, and he had so many things going on when Fortress was introduced to him. And he took a second and a third look at it, and then once he caught the fire, he was like, wait a minute, this is residual income. So I'm going to let him explain why he became a part of the Fortress Network, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Fortress Network because it's really not very hard to become a part of it.
Well, first, again, I want to say thank you, Liz, for having me. When I first was introduced to Fortress, it took me a minute because I do so many other different things out here. But once I caught a wind, and I caught a wind of this thing, and I was like, oh, my God, wait a minute, So it's a social referring network club, and it's only 3 across and 9 down, and that's how I pay you, So when you first told me about it, Liz, I know I was hesitant because I wanted to make sure my team was right in anything I do,
Absolutely.
So that's what took me a minute. But that's why I tell people today, pay attention to what's going on. Listen, because sometimes it go over people's head. And I think it went over my head a couple of times until we had the discussion. And that last time you're like, cuz, did you really take some time to look? And I was like, you know what, let me quit playing. So when I quit playing and I took a look at it, and I was like, wait a minute, you only need 3 people to qualify? And look, here you are, it's only a $10 investment.
Absolutely.
You can't help but win with 10.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I said $10, and all you need is 3, and it's a membership club that pays. Look, and I think about, Amazon and Facebook and Costco, Sam's Clubs, all these other memberships that we have, but they don't pay us, This one actually pays. I'm seeing the residuals. And that's what caught my interest. So immediately after that last conversation, and I really paid attention, and sometimes you got to hear from somebody else, and I listen, to, you put me on the phone and I listen to, the doctor. And I was like, wait a minute, I can't play. So when I see, 3 across and 9 downs, and it could pay out to, $29,000 a month, even not even going that far, because sometimes that's too much to go over people's head. Even if it's enough money to pay your car note, pay a cell phone bill, put some food in the refrigerator, put some gas in your tank. That's how, you got to look at it, and sometimes like that, because sometimes you get to talking about big money, it scare people. So, but you said 3 people and you qualified. So I was in. I qualified that night, actually. Because what I did.
You did. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I got my wife, my mother, my son, and then bam, 3 people. I said, what? That's it?
So what he's talking about when he say 3 people, what he's talking about is that just like when you go to see a movie, like I refer so many people to go see Black Panther, and I loved Black Panther, I loved it, but I sent so many people, and I think we watched it, and then we referred it. Well, as we referred it, who got paid for that?
Nobody.
I mean, who got paid for it? The movie theater got paid for it, the actors, the actresses, the concession stands, everybody got paid for it, but we didn't get paid for it, and it was our referral that sent those people to the movie theater. So when he says a social media network that pays, you get paid for doing what you automatically do. And the reason that I said this is a great opportunity for those that need a hand up, that are in survival mode and that are looking for a way out is because it's something that you can do simple, and you are your own business owner, and it's a wonderful thing because you become your own business owner, and it's something that you can do you can do it as aggressively as you want, but it's something that you can do as you are mapping out your plan. As you are mapping out your plan to start your life over, to reset, is something that you can put into your life. And you have a whole team of people that are willing to help you and willing to assist you. And when I win, he wins. When he wins, his family wins. And it's about us creating a true legacy for our families. So Cecil was amazing at talking about the working down the payment commission structure. And so we're going to let him talk about that a little bit, but I love it when he goes into the point and he says, if you need to pay a car note, if you need to pay, put some groceries on the table, and I say, if you need to put some money away for your plan to get out. This is all a part of you coming into awareness that you're in a domestic violence situation, but also coming into awareness that it is a way out. Because for so many, and I talk about my story in each segment, because there was a point in my story, in my not even really becoming aware that it was that bad, that I did try to commit suicide, And I say that now because I'm on the other side of it, but I just want you to really understand that I understand. A lot of times people will say they understand, but they're sitting on the other side of it, or you don't know where they come from. When I say I understand how it can get so bad that you think that that's the only way out and to act on that. And, I have to say that it was only by the grace of God that I am still here today. And that's why I dedicate and devote the rest of my life to helping in what I went through, because what I went through was not in vain. So just want to go back to when he says there's a system out there, and when he say doctors, and he say lawyers, and he say bankers and car dealerships, see, you never know what somebody is going through. People get up and they go to work 9 to 5 every day, but you have no idea how much debt they've accumulated, or them just needing a tweak or something that's going to pay them residually. And I know we there's so many things out here, and people always bringing things to you. But this is something that's been tried, tested, and is proven. The gentleman that started the Fortress Network, his name is Okili Omari. He started it. He's in full support of what we're doing here. And one of the things and he's very hands-on. So you can call him. How many CEOs, let's go back to the movie theater. You sent how many people to the movies? Or you send how many people to go buy your favorite shoes, or a pie, or whatever you sent them to. You never got paid for it. But his mission was to create a system that not just the owners and CEOs of the company were succeeding, but that everybody that became a part of it was actually had opportunity to be successful in it as well. So Cecil's going to break down how that payment structure works for you, and really listen clearly, because each step of the way, some of the members have been able to, fix their cars, and have been able to get through to another payday, and as it continues to grow, it continues to provide opportunities for you. So, Cece, you want to break down the numbers for us?
Absolutely, Liz.
That's your favorite part, isn't it?
So, like she was saying, this is the part I love to do. I do it every day. First thing you have to do is get 3 people that qualify you. So I'm about to break down the structure right now. So in this compound interest, you all. So compound interest, if you know about compound interest, it grows. It get bigger and bigger. So your first 3 people qualify you. That's $3. Once you pay your $10, you only have to pay it one time, really, because on your second level, it's $12. So this is residual income coming in every single month. And right now, it sounds like it's small, but it get bigger and bigger. Because listen, your second level, that's $9 plus the $3, that give you $12. But then when you get to your third level, you at $39. Each level just keep adding. I ain't going to go, step by step, but so you could kind of hear where I'm going with it. Then your fourth level, you are at $120. Now, the $120 is what I talk about, is when you could, pay a cell phone bill, put some gas in your car, put some food in the refrigerator, with $120, and you only done paid $10. So $120 times 10, that's $120 for a whole year, just paying for a membership. But like I said, on that second level, it's paid for. So you ain't got to pay it no more. We do it the right way. It's all just building a community to helping each other. Everybody helping each other out. That's how I look at it. But then when you get to your fifth level, you at $363. Now, as you see, it's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, at $363 per month, you could do a little bit more with that. You paying a car note maybe, some insurance, and a cell phone bill. $363.
Right.
Then when you get to your sixth level, you at $1,092. Now you over $1,000 a month, close to $1,100 a month, and this is just easy residual income, you all. It's not a lot of hard work. We just helping each other out. A membership club that pays. All you doing is referring to others. Then when you get to your seventh level, you at $3,279. Now you see that jump. Even if somebody was to be at $3,279 for a couple months, that's some nice income coming in every single month. Then when you get to your eighth level, you at $9,840. Now you at over $9,000 a month. You close to $10,000 a month. And how much did you pay? Just $10? $10 membership. Then this is the last level right here. It's the ninth level. Your ninth level pays out $29,523. Now, then Fortress, what I love about it, they give you a $10,000 bonus. So you at $39,523 residually every single month. Now, some people don't even make that in a whole year.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm talking about this is monthly income.
Absolutely.
And that's just on one matrix. And then after that, you could build a whole nother matrix. So after that, 40,000, here go another 40,000, that give you 80,000, another 40,000, you at 120,000, 160,000, 200,000. This is for life, you all. It just keep on going and growing with Fortress. And compound interest, So as you all see, it start off small. but it grows out real big. So I'm really excited about the program, and thank you again, Liz, for having me. I know some more things about Fortress you probably want to add on to it, but that's just the main thing, and it'll help a lot of people in them situations that, they're going through out here. When they're feeling lost, this could really help.
And that's the one thing that I love about Fortress is because you said it just a few minutes ago. You said that it's a community. So it's a community of like-minded people coming together to help one another. Okay, and that was only one of the benefits. I mean, and now if you will, that helps anybody in any phase of their life in order to get to the next level, no matter what it is. We have a doctor that is looking to retire, and this is his retirement plan. We've taken it to bankers, and the bankers are like, wow, who came up with this? This is a genius idea, because if you put $120 in the bank, you're not going to get this type of return on your money, and your money is going to sit there. And, in some other episodes, we're going to talk about some of those other things, because Cecil's going to be back with us each week, and he's going to talk to us about, how you start to build and what do you do to get yourself into a situation where you are bringing in, 100, 200, 300, thousands of dollars every month. Now, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's nothing like that. It is a total coming together, and it's a community coming together, community of like-minded people caring about one another. In up-and-coming episodes, we're going to talk about the other ways that Fortress is your fortress, because if you look up the definition of fortress, that's exactly what it is. It is a place of safety, a place of security. It's a force of people coming together. And so the last thing that I did want to mention about was that with Fortress, the CEO and founder is tested and proven. When I brought the opportunity and told them about the cause that I was so passionate about, they made it their cause. So they put it on their national website, so you can go to, and we talk about WoDiva here because that's Women of Domestic Violence, okay? And so you can go to WoDiva, WoDiva .fortressnetworkllc.com. Again, it's WoDiva, WoDiva Fortress, FORTRESS, Network, NETWORT, LLC.com. Go under the cause link, CAUSE, and you'll see where you can actually support our cause. And the cause is Eradicating Domestic Violence, and we're doing it $50 at a time. So you can actually go on that website, and if you feel it in your heart and you want to donate to the cause, you're able to do that, and it's actually crowdfunding. It's $50 times 20,000 people will give us $1 million. That will help so many people to start having a hand up out of domestic violence. And we will be bringing you more and more resources. If you want to be a part of the Fortress Network, we also have, team? It's the Fortress Team.
Yeah, the Fortress Team.
The Fortress Team.
Yeah, the Fortress Force Wealth Builders.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll actually post the website and the email address if you want to be a part of the network. Again, it's a $10 membership fee, and that membership fee pays you. And so we just thank you, and we're going to be bringing additional resources to be able to assist you with the hand up. And again, Cecil, I thank you so much for being here and bringing your wonderful personality to our forum.
Thank you.
And so we thank you for watching.
Thank you all.
And we hope that you are getting a lot of value from our podcast. We have now Reverend Vicki Wright. She brings to us a plethora of expertise in the area of business development, counseling, and real estate. She also has a master's in counseling and a master's in divinity. She is here to speak to you about your mind, your body, and your spirit. Now, please welcome Reverend Vicki Wright.
Hi, I'm Reverend Vicki, and I'm here today to talk to you about domestic violence. Domestic violence is a challenge for those who encounter it, but it is up to us as a society to try to help to bring healing to a fragmented world. Today, I'd like to go a little bit more in depth about domestic violence. We were born with a purpose, a mission, that we are to fulfill within this life. But unfortunately, we have to encounter situations such as domestic violence. Domestic violence is a very brutal thing for women to and men to have to encounter. It breaks the person down mentally and physically, and they walk throughout life carrying baggage, emotional baggage, a bag that's full of hurt, pain, and shame. And I am here to help those that have experienced domestic violence understand that they still have to press forward. They still have to move toward new meaning within their lives, because if they shuffle through all of the debris, all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the shame that's within this baggage, they will find their purpose in life, because God says that all things work together for the good for those who love the Lord and is called according to his purpose. We have to remember that the mind is the core of the spirit. The mind is what tells the body what to do. The mind is your will. The mind is your prosperity. The mind is your emotion. And you can choose how you receive what you encountered. You can choose to walk positively from what have happened to you, or you can choose to walk in a negative light. But I tell you, when you walk in that negative light, you attract more. If you go within the Bible in Numbers 14 and 28, it tells you that the Lord said that the things that I have heard you say, I will do for you. We have to speak positive to our bad situation, because remember, we were born with a purpose. There is a diamond that's deep within us, and we have to dig down deep and to find out what that diamond is. What is our purpose in this life? And truly, if you dig down and you sort out all of the dead things in your life and you put it in the right coffin, you will discover your purpose, your call. It rests down within your hurt, your pain, your shame, and your abuse, because that's the only reason why you were attacked in that area, is because it wanted your purpose to die. But remember, you have been bent but not broken, and you can press toward the new life that God has for you, because in the midst of it all, he is with you and he is working everything out for your good. There is a new you that is waiting to be birthed, and you have to push. You have to push toward the goodness in every bad situation, because there is good. And if you press toward that good that lies deep down within you, you will find your purpose and you will become the new you, the person that is waiting to emerge. Live on purpose. Live with love. Live placing all dead things in their coffin. And the best is yet to come. Press toward the mark of the high calling, and remember that you have a purpose. Let your light shine through it all. Let the new you be born. Thank you. This is, again, Reverend Vicki Wright. I hope this message touched your heart in some place and caused you to move forward in a positive way. Let your light shine. Let your new life begin today.
Thank you for taking time out to join us for some of Grandma's good old cookie jar secrets. Until next time, health and wealth to you.